In this video, I'm going to shed some light on the pros and cons of freelancing to help give you a better idea of what you're getting yourself into if that's what you want to do. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Freelancing. I started freelancing last year, 2018. I'm now doing it pretty much full time and I really enjoy it. I think it's amazing. But being a freelancer isn't without its faults, just like with everything. So in this video, we'll be going over pros and cons and is it right for you? Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and please don't be shy. Say hi in the comments and hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more content like this. So it gives me an incentive to keep making more, I guess. That'd be great. Thank you so much and I hope you enjoy this video. First up is flexibility of freelancing, which is, I think it's a really big advantage. What I mean by flexibility, that covers a lot of different things. So flexible as in you are flexible with your hours. So you can pretty much set your own hours and when you would like to work, which is pretty awesome. You can essentially set your own workload as well. So you can, if you only want to work certain days per week, like maybe you only want to work Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, for example. Maybe you only want to work Tuesdays. You can set your own limit. It's just really flexible that way. So maybe if you're a stay-at-home mum, for example, and you only have time to do it a few days a week, it's a really good idea. So for me, why that is such a big pro is I have all this time, like I can allocate for things. So if I want to go to the gym, if I want to walk my dog, if I want to go out to the shops or something, like I can just do it. I'm not restricted in a job environment where I can't go to do those things because I'm not home, I'm not near a shopping centre or something like that. It gives you that flexibility to just go and do it. So the other thing with flexibility is choosing your clients. You can choose who you want to work with essentially. So that's also, and I think that's also really powerful. Whereas in a job environment you might be given clients to work with, you just have to do it. In this, you can kind of choose who you want to work with. You can build up maybe like a profile of this client and what they want, and you can say, look, I can help you or I can't help, and you get to choose. So that's also, I think, really powerful as well. So the first con is working weekends. Now this will depend on you. For me personally, I find that I work a lot of weekends. I find that a lot of clients are very active on the weekend or just before, so I might get like a job to do on the Friday or the Thursday, so I'll have to work over the weekend to get it to them. So this is also something to keep in mind if you're going to take orders or work on the Friday or the Thursday, you're most likely going to be working on the weekend to get it back, depending on the delivery time that you guys both agree on. So that's another thing to keep in mind. You could be working weekends, which sacrifices you hanging out with friends maybe, or again, it can be still flexible and you can allocate time on the weekend because you're not going to a job at a set time and finishing at a set time. You can kind of allocate time around on the weekend. So if you do have to work, you can maybe do it in the morning for a few hours and hang out with friends afterwards or something like that. So it's still flexible, it's just something else to keep in mind. The next pro of being a freelancer is you get to be your own boss. This is something that is the biggest reason why I wanted to become a freelancer. I'm happy to work under other people's orders, but I prefer to be in charge myself and kind of do things my own way and just be my own boss basically. In terms of being your own boss, like similar to the last point, you get to manage who you work with. You don't have to listen to anyone. You have to listen to the client, but you're not under like an agency's orders, for example. Like you're not under a company's orders. You set your own policies, you set your own refund policy, you set your own terms. So it's all up to you. You track everything as well. Like you control everything, which is awesome. It can also be a con as well. You have to manage everything, which I'm prepared to take, but it's huge and some people probably won't be prepared to take it. This is where being your own boss sucks. You are responsible for everything. If something goes wrong with the client, you are in charge of resolving it. You don't just pass it on to the company and be like, whatever. You have to fix it. You got to track your finances, your expenses, your earnings, for your taxes and everything like that. So it can be a pretty frustrating process. And also being your own boss, you are in charge of finding work. You don't have someone finding work for you, so you have to do it. And also you don't get any leave pay. So if you're sick, you're working for yourself. You don't get any pay. If you're sick, you don't get sick leave, you don't get holiday leave, you don't get maternity leave, all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. The third pro is you get to work anywhere and you get to wear anything. I'm normally just in gym wear because I find that comfortable and I go to the gym, but some freelancers will work in their pajamas or they don't have to put on clothes, or they don't have to wear makeup, or they don't have to do anything to impress anyone because they're not seeing anyone face to face. So that's a really cool part of it. But yeah, you also get to work from anywhere you want to. All you need is an internet connection. Sorry if I'm looking over there. I'm looking at the view thing. So anyway, all you need is an internet access and your working equipment. So whether you might be a freelance voiceover artist, so in that case you'd need your mic and probably a laptop. Most freelancers will need a laptop. In my case, I'm a freelance writer, so I need a laptop. I always have a notebook handy, and that's pretty much all I need. And yeah, depending again, like maybe you're a graphics designer, freelance graphics designer, then you'll need a graphics tablet with you. So all you need is an internet access to be able to communicate with your clients, or a phone, I guess, depending on the way you want to communicate with them. I personally only communicate via email. Occasionally I'll go by phone, but I'll normally charge for something like that, or a face-to-face call like Skype or something. I'll normally charge for that. So, but I'll normally just email. But yeah, depending on what you need internet and your equipment, and that's it. You can work from anywhere. So if you're traveling, freelancing really is the best thing, and that's what I plan to do in the future. I want to travel really bad to all these different places, and I can just take my freelancing with me and earn money on the go. So that's a huge plus. Now the con to counteract that pro is if you're not traveling, you might find yourself really isolated, or maybe even if you are traveling, you might find yourself isolated, I don't know. But for me, working for me means getting up, going to my office, which is one step down the hallway into this room where I work. And that means I don't get out, I don't see people face to face, I don't interact with people, sometimes I don't get outside to get some sunlight. You can feel isolated, you don't have that work-life communication, you don't have co-workers, you don't have friends you make on the job. That can be a huge thing, and I've found with me, I have to force myself to take a break, get out of the house, maybe go walk my dog, go to the gym and do things like that. Make sure I get out of the house so I don't go crazy, because staying in the house all day is so unhealthy. So that's one thing you've got to keep in mind, that yeah, you might not get out and you need to force yourself to get out. So that's something else that can be a con. Maybe some people who love being at home, it'll be great for you. So I don't know, but that's something to keep in mind as well. My fourth pro for freelancing is you're pursuing your passion. I have always loved writing, and it's something that I've just always enjoyed doing, and I could call it like a passion of mine. And to be able to pursue a passion as a form of a job is just amazing with anything. So as I say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I mean, I find that sometimes a bit true and sometimes not true, because with any job you get frustrated. But I'm happy enough to say that I can pursue one of my passions as a job, so that's pretty incredible. The con to this pro, I guess that's how you say it, the work is unpredictable. So just starting out, especially when you're just starting out, you're always hustling to find work. You're always trying to make sure you have work to support yourself. So while you're pursuing your passion, you could be struggling financially. I recommend it as a side thing purely because it's a truck. Starting as a side thing until you can support yourself with it as a full-time income, because starting out it's very difficult. When I just started out, I would say it wasn't for like I'd have to have a look, maybe like 4 months before I was starting to gain pretty good traction and getting irregular clients as well coming back for the same work, and just starting to see that it could become my main form of income. So yeah, make sure you don't start it if you are struggling financially or if you need it's great even just as like a thing for a little bit of extra money on the side. If you've got spare time all the time and you need more money, if you've got a current job and you need just a side thing to bring in some more pocket money or whatever, you can use it as that. So many trucks on my street. Keep in mind, inconsistency is a real thing, and it's really important that you know that before you get into it. So the other thing though I want to quickly say is about pursuing your passion. I find you can burn out of your passion, believe it or not. No matter how much you love doing something, if it turns into doing it as a job and you're doing it all the time rather than like a little side hobby, find that you burn out really quickly. For example, I've always loved writing, and I've always wanted to write my own book, which I have not done, but one day I might get there. But my point is, because I'm writing all day for clients, by the end of the day, which is when I would hope to start writing my book, I'm just burned out. I just don't want to write anymore. I'm done writing, no more. So you can burn out. Same for maybe graphics designers. If you're just designing all day for people, you might not be left with the time you want or the passion that you want to keep doing it as a passion, if that makes sense. Like, do you know what I mean? Just your passion burns out by the end of the day, at least for me. And the next day I'll come back and I'm ready to go. But again, by the end, if I wanted to do it as for something personal, writing for me personally, like a short story or a book or something, I'm just in my head, my brain's like, you've done enough writing, I can't do any more. And that's it. So all I can say is, if you pursue a passion as a job, you need to consider that it might actually become a job more than a passion. So yeah. The final pro is unlimited potential. So as a freelancer, you have unlimited potential. Normally, if you have a job, you have a set salary or you have a set income or set rate per hour or whatever, and you just go to work, you do what you need to do, you go home. As a freelancer, you really have unlimited potential. You can gain a lot of exposure, broaden your horizons. So it's not just unlimited potential in terms of earnings, but also like a lot of other things as well. But in terms of earnings, you really have no limits. Like, I could accept so much work, but then I would not be able to do it all. But I could just keep accepting more and more work, and just keep and bring in more money. Like I said, you set your own limits. So if you're setting it down here and you only want to earn an extra $100 a week, that's cool, but you could really bring it up to however much you wanted to. Once you gain that exposure and people know who you are, you've got a reputation for being a good freelancer, you really have unlimited potential. So that's something that's really awesome about freelancing too. You're not restricted by going to a job and just being in that same... I mean, obviously you can get promotions and things and advance that way, but again, you advance to that promotion, you might have a set salary and you just kind of stop there kind of thing. You know what I mean? Your potential is unlimited when you become a freelancer, so that's another one. The con to that is low pay to start off with. So like I said, again, it needs to be a side hustle first before you make something full-time, because you won't get much money in the beginning. If you don't have a reputation and no one knows who you are, no one can see your portfolio of works, no one knows your quality of work or anything, they could just assume you just crap, basically, I guess is the word. You need to offer low rates at first to encourage people to buy from you or work with you, and that way you can build up your portfolio and you can gain a reputation. They share your works with other people, they share like their reviews with other people, their experiences. You start off really low pay, and that's what I've come to learn, and I'm still not all the way up here. I'm like average. but I'm working up because as I build my experience, my portfolio, my clients who I've worked with who can vouch for me and say that I'm good at what I do, not to brag. But yeah, you got to know starting out that it's going to be on the lower end of the pay spectrum. So yeah, don't forget that. People want experienced people to work on what they need. But obviously experienced people charge more. So if you don't have much experience, you have to charge less because you really don't have. Even if you go into it knowing I know I'm a great writer, I know I'm a great graphics designer, people don't know that, so you need to prove it. So yeah, make sure you do that. And that concludes the 5 pros and 5 cons for freelancing and whether it's right for you. I just want to finish up quickly by saying a few other minor pros and cons. Minor pros of freelancing is there's no commuting costs, so you don't have to pay for petrol. I found that's really awesome for me. I'm not paying for petrol every week. I'm saving myself the trip. Don't have to worry about traffic. I'm just at home working, so that's awesome. The other things would be no meeting. You don't have to attend work meetings. There's no drama in the office. There's no other work-related commitments that you have to do, but then again, some people do like that, so yeah. And the other pro is variety. You get a lot of variety when you work as a freelancer. You get to do a lot of different things, have a lot of different experiences, and I think that's really important for work ethic. Always remaining creative as a worker is just important to have variety. If you're stuck doing the same thing over and over again, you just go brain dead. So having variety is super important, I feel. So yeah, I think that's a really huge, well, I said it was a minor pro, but I think it's still really important. And the other few cons I have are some clients don't pay up. This is something I won't go into too much in this video, but basically you do get those frustrating clients that are scammy and won't pay up. So keep that in mind. No paid leave, we already went over that. There's no backup. You don't have a worker to take over what you're doing if you are sick or injured. So if you cannot physically or mentally, I guess, type or write or do whatever you need to do to get the work done, they're not gonna want to fill in for you because you are you and you are you and you. No one else can replace what you can do. Your talents basically are yours and you can't pass that on to someone else, obviously. So you don't have anyone to cover for you. You need to also be make sure you communicate this with your clients very carefully as well if you do ever get sick and things like that. So, and the last con is difficult clients. So yes, you will deal with a lot of difficult clients, and you get more experience over the years that you work as a freelancer on how to deal with these difficult clients and how to avoid working with the difficult clients. And like me, I'm learning who I should work with and who I shouldn't work with, kind of gauging what kind of client they're going to be if I do work with them. Yes, you will work with difficult clients. I won't go into that anymore, but yeah. Anyway, I'll save those for the next videos. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you if you were deciding to become a freelancer. There's pros and cons to everything, and this is no exception. But personally, I love it, and I wouldn't really trade it for anything else in the world because it gives me so much freedom and flexibility. So I hope it helped you. If it did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this if you did enjoy it. That's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas.